Banyama. R&R in the morning on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
And we are live. Are we inside the Cowboy Corner? Is the Cowboy Corner inside R&R in the morning? Yes, this is the R&R team back. We're breaking into your radio because we got a special guest coming. That's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Yes, we're sitting in Oxnard, California with the Dallas Cowboy training camp coverage. Some bonus material coming your way. Jerry Jones, the owner of your Dallas Cowboys, is imminent, about 20 minutes away. You ready for this, Rudy?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Jerry's easygoing. He always open book, very transparent, tells you what's on his mind. I'm looking forward to it.
Did you just pull out a cigar? Are you going to smoke a cigar?
No, you can't smoke in here. I'm going to go smoke with my security guard people later.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Well, no.
No, I mean,
I've been out with you in the past, and you have a tendency to make friends like that.
Yeah, my guys got a chair waiting for me.
Do they really?
Yeah.
The security guys.
They always take care of me.
When you say always,
2 years.
This is the second time you've been here. Third. So, did you smoke cigars with them before?
The last couple of years I have.
Really? I was unaware. Did you bring them to you, or you just guys just go hang out?
No, I just go up there and I'm like, hey man, these guys look new. So what I'll do is I'll go up there and I'll be like, hey, can I borrow a chair for the smoking section? And they give it to me because we're always nice to people. Just like at the rental car place. When we were waiting 2 hours, she was like, oh, y'all are so nice. Didn't help us at all.
Oh, this is all coming together. So it's the smoking sections, the cigar area to go watch it at camp, and you met him over there.
Yeah.
I thought you had gotten in good with security.
Oh.
Hey, man, here's a couple cigars.
No.
Give me some back tour.
No.
Kind of help me out.
That's just like up there at the gate is the only place you can smoke.
So
since we're going to be here all day, I just found out we're going to be doing like 30 hours today. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
You don't sound.
I'm ready to talk to Jerry. This is the first time this is my first time. I know you have plenty of times with Jason in the past when y'all were doing the blitz. Jason has done it the first 2 years I came to Oxnard. So this will be my first time ever outside of Nobu chit-chatting with Jerry.
What is when you realize and you put into the framework of the conversation that everything you're looking at is his?
Yeah, it's amazing that everything that he has to delegate. Like, you got to look at everything that goes into this, that he's like, you know what, I'm just going to wake up and show up and go down and watch practice. And there's all this moving parts. It's a lot, man. All these dang big ass tents and stuff. So it's a lot of moving parts, but it looks good. They instead of going out, they went up. And I think it made the place look sexier.
Oh, it certainly looks like the Dallas Cowboys training camp you expect to see. And, as the offseason went through, I think universally, especially you and I, have kind of graded the Cowboys front office and everything they've done, giving them stellar grades. I mean, they planned their work. They worked their plan. They drafted appropriately. The free agent signups, exceptional. The trading was everything. And then the week before camp, then boom, here goes the Zach Martin explosion. Then there's this self-made controversy, if you want to parse it as that, with Jerry saying he's got other coaches in mind that could go along with or before Jimmy Johnson. He's got some money to spend. He announced the Trayvon Diggs.
So in our world, let's pull the curtain back. In our world, asking a question you're not getting an answer to just to please Twitter guy, I've always had a problem with it. Like, we have to ask Jerry what other coaches he's talking about, right? Knowing you're not getting an answer just so the guy on Twitter can say, hey, you asked a tough question. He's not going to answer.
No, but sometimes you never know. Sometimes, you never know that meat pitch.
What's he going to say?
He might lean into it.
Oh, okay.
But no, whether that's certainly a question.
Dude, the one thing I feel bad, like, Mike, what can Mike add? What does Mike talk about every day? He does like 30 minutes every day.
It is
he could be doing
us. He could be sitting in with us.
No, he could be doing like installs. As a diehard Cowboy fan, would you rather him be talking for 30 minutes or doing another install?
You get the sense that that's the part of the gig that the coaches just aren't ready for. They've seen it. They've been around other head coaches that had to go through it, because Nathaniel Hackett is not a terrible coach.
No, he's not.
No, he's not a guy that is just forgot everything that he was supposed to be doing. And then he suddenly gets that seat and can't figure out how to get a play in. I mean, suddenly can't figure out how to get a defensive or offensive play in.
Well, he wanted to cancel the press conference the other day. Remember,
Yeah.
he was like, "I wanted to cancel the press conference and do
But
more installs, but I wouldn't."
Either he's mad. He's it's mandatory. He just about has to do that kind of stuff. So
I told you, it reminds me of Charlie Strong.
and
Remember, Charlie Strong was like, "Dude, Charlie Strong didn't want to go to banquets and shake hands with boosters. He just wanted to coach football."
it's hard.
But you can't do that in certain gigs.
And this is you're only about 60% coach.
72.
Well, I was the only reason I said 60 because he
Why?
gave up half the responsibilities when he gave it to Quinn.
Great
You know
point.
what I mean?
So it was 50.
So there must be some method to this madness. Like, yeah, the responsibilities are different and maybe a little bit lessened on the defensive side as you pick up play calling. But yeah, you gotta talk to the masses, man.
I
And
agree
we're
with that.
about to talk with the owner, Jerry Jones. He's going through the we call it the car wash.
Car wash. I love that term. And speaking with Deron Bland today, and the handlers let us know that he's gotten a lot better with his media. And I thought he was actually great this morning.
Mhm.
The Cowboys DB, well, leading.
Yeah, he's
led the team in INTs.
So
last
by that
season.
measure, he's the best defensive back coming back with the Cowboys this year.
No, but he does make them the best DB, triple, tandem, whatever in the league.
Best cornerback room in the league. And if you missed the interview, go back and check it out. It's floating around on our socials, either at Rudy J or at Rob Thompson, and certainly on our socials. And one of the things that was so interesting to hear about him is this is a guy who had this breakout year, pulls in 5 interceptions, steps in admirably for injuries, and then finds a spot on the field at the end of the season to just play on the regular. And then midway through the offseason, Gilmore lands.
Out of Sac State, transfers to Fresno State, ends up 5th-round pick, ends up starting. Crazy, cool story, by the way. I think I heard a little birdie told me my good friend Micah Parsons is going to be on with the Blitz today.
I have heard such tell.
Do we know what time he's that little birdie? No time. But Micah Parsons is supposed to join the Blitz today.
And
so.
it's going to be a worthy listen because Micah and Rudy almost went to blows yesterday. It was kind of embarrassing.
No, it was. We didn't almost come to blows.
Micah,
You can't come to blows with the dude
I think
you
there's
refuse
but
to look at.
one reason he's here, and that is to find Rudy J. Because
Ain't hard to find.
yesterday, Rudy overstepped his bounds. No, this is a great story. The irony of him arriving the next day is perfect because yesterday Rudy had the opportunity. You saw the opportunity, you seized the opportunity, you even got a response in the ask, yet it did not come to fruition.
Yeah.
And the next day he comes. You were saying earlier, you're a believer in karma.
Good
People have good things happen, right?
shoot, Rob. You're a shooter, right?
And here we sit. The owner of the Cowboys is just about 15 minutes away. Yeah, I'm a shooter. You miss every shot you don't take.
Absolutely.
And yesterday you took 2 shots. 2 shots, as we have heard in San Antonio.
I airballed both.
CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons were in Rudy's grasp. Near the net was out to bring him in and a single stand-up with one of the 2 superstars of the Dallas Cowboys and went 0 for 2. But, it's kind of like women's soccer. Sometimes, even when you don't win, you win.
If you tie,
Sometimes
it's a win.
A tie is a win.
A draw.
And, I pretty much predicated my life on that. But the story is perfect for yesterday because Rudy had a chance and took advantage of an opportunity that is rarely given. You had an opportunity to actually step in and do an interview with a CeeDee Lamb when it wasn't even a time for you to do it.
No, I lied, and I had to ask my father for forgiveness last night before I laid my head down to sleep. CeeDee, he raised his hand and said, "Who am I supposed to be here talking to?" I said, "Me,"
which is a true statement.
Yeah,
that's not a lie.
That wasn't a lie. It was just like, hey, you're supposed to be talking to me. The universe told me.
But your mistake was you were wearing company gear.
I fumbled my phone, which made me look like I was lying.
And that's the other part of it. The acting as if has to be perfect all the way through.
Yeah.
Any little hesitation.
As soon as he said, "Are you sure?" I should have said, "Yeah, Rudy, San Antonio Sports Star. How you doing today?" And just rolled
and just
into
kept
it.
going. No. So tell me about the first day of practice.
Yep.
Tell me about the first day in pads.
Acting as if.
Well, you came close. But he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, Micah, I tried to get Micah's attention. Hey, Micah, got a minute? He ignored me. Hey, Micah, got a minute? Ignored me. Then finally he acknowledges me by looking over my head, but looking in my direction, letting me know he's listening. I said, "Do you got a minute or are you on the go?" I said, then he ignored me again. I said, "Do you got a minute or are you on the go?" And he looked at me and says, "I'm on the go."
For you, I'm on the go.
I'm on the go. And then his handler was like, "Thank you." Like, in other words, appreciate you leaving my client alone.
So, but I will tell you this:
sometimes when you win, you really lose.
Are you
And
here?
sometimes
On the
when
go?
you
He wouldn't even
lose,
respond.
you really win.
Well, see, you're kind of standing face to face with them.
So that's why I'm saying
I'm
he
sure.
wouldn't. But see, he turned and he had the ability to kind of look over you and at you at the same time. He wouldn't even have looked in my direction. I wouldn't even have gotten a response. So I look at that as a win. And then it goes even further. So not only does Rudy ask the question and was a professional about the whole thing, didn't follow him and say, "Oh man," but what he did do was, as a human being, published the couple of
because you got these young kids out here, 30-something-year-olds. All they post is their wins. They post all their wins. You know what I mean? Like life is just a big win. No, sometimes in life you lose. And if nobody's going to show the world that sometimes you lose, then I'll do it. I'll fall on that sword to show people that Instagram is not just for wins. Sometimes you lose.
So I posted my loss. You really lose.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you lose,
Thank you, Rosie.
you really win. And sometimes when you win or lose, you actually tie.
So you won by tying.
I just posted the loss, and I said, I hope Micah only gets 2.5 sacks.
Oh, what? No, don't just glance over that.
What?
So you posted the audio of the no. And then what did you put? What was the print?
The caption?
Uh-huh.
I said, I hope Micah only gets 2.5 sacks.
Oh.
Laughing emoji.
Oh.
He didn't have to do me like that. And then I said, this media stuff isn't easy when you're dealing with real stars, because there's a million guys out here that think they can do this and they think it's all glitz and glamour until you're face to face with the best defensive player in the league and he big times you. And you're like, damn, you got to humble yourself. I was humbled yesterday, and somehow somebody from his social media team searched his name, saw that I said, I hope he only gets 2 sacks. And in comes Micah Parsons to my comment saying 2 sacks is crazy.
I think that's a win.
Emoji.
I think as you parsed yesterday, the last day of July, that's a win.
Is it?
You lured Micah Parsons into the feed.
But that wasn't the case. I was like, I was hurt.
And above and beyond that, though, he had to come find it. You didn't even tag him.
No, I didn't.
So
tag
it
him.
was
that would have been corny. If I tagged him, that would have been corny.
That's what.
Yeah,
then you're picking a fight.
Yeah, then I'm picking a fight. Then I'm trolling. Then I'm Skip Bayless. But I hope he comes by the tent today.
Yeah, he might if he's not busy.
If he comes by the tent today, I'll come by and ask him, hey, you got a minute or are you on the go?
On the go. Micah on the go.
Micah and I should start a t-shirt line.
We should
donate the proceeds to charity. I'm on the go.
We have noticed, speaking of t-shirt line, that former Cowboy quarterback, current, I guess he's
Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, the quarterback up in Seattle for one of the for the USFL, I think.
I don't know where he's at.
I think he's with the Krakens. XFL.
I don't think it matters because his hats are selling. I think he's making millions off those hats by now.
So those that followed
Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Dakota.
Yeah, Dak
Dakota
Prescott made his backup quarterback a whole lot of money for a clothing line that the Nooch started last year, hats. And it's those Cowboy logos. You might have seen them that it's upside down and all. Now that's all we see out here. And that is primarily because of Dak Prescott wearing that thing.
Well, Dallas has been upside down since 97.
Oh, there we go.
I'm whispering because Jerry might be on the way.
He's right next door.
Oh, damn.
We just got the.
I don't do gadget backs out loud. Another backstory here at Oxnard. So Jason and Joe are going back and forth yesterday. The Blitz. You can catch them 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and they were discussing the running back room, and they got to Deuce Vaughn. And Jason said some nice things. Joe, not so much. Joe started calling him a gadget back. Joe started saying he could sit down and swing his legs on a curb. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. All the while, the kid is next door, and Joe's loud as all outside. And I'm like, dude, I can hear through hotel walls. I can damn sure hear through these tent windows or whatever you call them.
I have a sense that he's probably heard a few short jokes in his life. I have a sense that he's rolled in with his Kansas State football team in Lubbock, and there was a lot of things thrown at him.
You know it's bad when Minix wants to take a picture with you. He's looked down at no one in his life.
Well, that's the other part of this. He'll be the most popular football player in the world. I mean, everybody want to take a picture with him.
He's not. He's Darren Sproles, and Darren Sproles had a great career, so he's going to be fine.
And I have said it too many times.
He's going to be fine.
I'm going to say it again.
What?
I have never witnessed a picture like him on a professional football.
Darren Sproles.
No,
he
looks even smaller than that, man. I legit, it looks like somebody's kid. And what did Jason?
He is somebody's kid.
Well, I mean, like child.
I have a 27-year-old daughter, so he is a child.
But to me, a kid is somebody whose daddy got him the gift.
Philip Lindsay 2.0. Yeah,
Lindsay was a little guy too, but it's unnerving it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel real to watch him move around. And I think that's part of the success that's going to come this way.
I want to say K-State won the Big 12.
They did, and he had some nice long.
What?
But
I feel you.
It is just one of those things that I think most of us go, I have to see it for you to prove to me that it'll be effective.
Nothing wrong with that.
Because when you see him standing on the sidelines, when you're standing next to him, you go, I don't understand.
Specialty.
How?
Specialty.
Absolutely. And I believe he's probably talked to the likes of like Spud Webb, and I'm not kidding. Little guys that have made it a long way.
Hey,
you have to. I mean,
but what about the stack of the fact that he's hard to find?
There's something to it, and let me tell you, watch. They can't find him. There's literally nowhere to look because he is below the shoulder pad level of everybody else on the football field. Everybody else.
That's fair.
Man alive, the quickness that we're looking for is right next door to us.
Is he?
If you're wondering why you're hearing our voices well after we're off air, we're sitting in waiting for Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, going to come by and give us his State of the Union speech as he does every year. In the midst of a bit of controversy, but some of it brought on himself.
What did he say that?
Well, he brought up the Jimmy Johnson, other coaches before him or with him.
Oh, that part.
The Zach Martin, I don't think he didn't stir that pot, but he didn't.
Do you think we make too much of the Ring of Honor?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime there's a club that you have to be reach these certain undefined standards that are defined by the present time or the present person. Yeah, we make too much out of it. But there's something to be said for reaching the top.
Well, it's just I think Cowboy fans, Jimmy's so near and dear to y'all's hearts. We've made it a thing because we don't really talk about it for anybody else except Jimmy, which I get. But
he's the only one hasn't been acknowledged. I mean, I think we've taken care of everybody else.
Facts.
I mean, but then you start getting into what exactly is everybody else. But I think we can pretty much define the fact that there have been two preeminent coaches with this franchise.
So we have two elephants in the room. So you have to address both.
Well, we'll have to talk about
Zach. Zach is an elephant with tusk, and Jimmy's an elephant. But there's no tusk because it's a Ring of Honor, whatever. He's going to get there one day. But Zach he's a male elephant with tusk, and they need him. So two elephants in the room with Jerry that we have to address.
That and what's on the menu tonight?
Oh, I know what's on there. There's the best sushi you'll ever have.
The sushi's excellent.
The filet mignon.
What was the stuff on the big toothpicks?
That's
the filet.
Yes.
I hope we'll have that again.
Yes, the best filet mignon you've ever had in your life. And a few other things that I can't pronounce, but I put them in my mouth.
And then there's the fact, is he just going to bring one bottle of blue? I'm going to just let that go. Should I just sweep on over that?
Well, see, this is the thing. So this is another story from my first trip to Nobu. I saw Jerry drinking Johnny Walker Blue. So I was like, hell, I've been drinking black.
Nobu. This is
blue.
Regular.
I walk up to the dang bar and said, hey, I need a double Johnny Walker Blue. Neat. They said, sir, that is Mr. Jones's bottle. I should have said, this is Nobu. You have more than one blue.
And I am Mr. Jones, just not that Mr. Jones.
Yeah, right? You got to have more than one blue.
Well,
you're Nobu.
When was the last time you were around a...
Do we have some breaking news of some sort? No, okay. Yeah, so, I've embarrassed myself before. It's no big deal. I like putting myself out there. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're a few minutes away.
Did he say that?
We're a few minutes away from Jerry Jones being in our tent. My first time getting able to talk with the man, so looking forward to it. Normally, Jason and Joe hog all the good interviews. They don't share with anybody, and they don't really feel bad about it, So hopefully they get Micah Parsons, my good buddy Micah. And the only reason Micah even agreed to come over here is because of me.
Rudy, Jerry's part of the culture, man.
What happened? Give me what happened?
He reflected on the let's call it California California sobriety, and the what's in the air.
What's in the air?
Okay. You'll see this. The man never ceases to surprise me.
So you're going to ask him about this?
Well, I don't know how I would even begin to dance around the subject, quite frankly, but evidently understands the culture of things as they are currently. He does coach a bunch of athletes. As you read it out, Jerry Jones is coming just around the corner. And don't forget, RJ Ochoa still has your Cowboys corner. As soon as we get busy, he will get on, and the Blitz is going to be here at 2 o'clock. And we have confirmed for you that Micah Parsons will be on with the Blitz today. So make sure. Do we have a time for that? We want to make sure.
No time.
We'll have Micah
When
Parsons.
it's Micah Parsons. He's the best defensive player in the league. He'll get here when he wants to.
And
He's better than Nick Bosa. He's better than T.J. Watt. He just is.
And what I've been told, will only get 2.5 sacks.
He commented on my post. He jumped to number 1. He was 3. When he came into my comments, he jumped to 1.
We had Deron Bland join us earlier on R&R in the morning, telling us, day one practice, everybody in pads, excitement level was through the roof.
No. Let's stop right there. Rob has insulted his second DB in Scandrick.
That was Ari. I just learned from the outside.
And then now today, Deron Bland, you went back to the slot corner, and they want nothing to do with it because it cuts their pay, and it makes it seem like you can't guard the number 1.
I asked the young cornerback about the notoriety of being a cornerback on a team like this. And, he had a possibility, an opportunity to be CB2 on this roster behind Diggs. They go get Gilmore. Is it any shame in saying, well, the way you're going to get on the field?
Well, the thing I wanted to know was his immediate reaction. You asked him, what was your immediate reaction when they signed Gilmore?
And he answered the right way.
He was like, I was happy.
Yeah,
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
It's all good, though.
But the idea of that great year and following it up in a situation that you really are learning from a couple of superstars and are going to be covered up in case there are the kind of issues. It's a tough job to be in.
Yeah. We're about T-2 minutes. T-2 minutes until the arrival of my good buddy and billionaire friend, Jerry Jones. Or is it Mr. Jones? I feel like it's Mr. Jones. What are we doing? What are you doing? What do you and Jason normally call him? I feel weird calling him Jerry.
So
my mama raised me better than
that's
that. If my mom is listening to this and I call him Jerry, I'm going to be in trouble when I get off air. I'm telling you right now.
Let's look around the room. What do we think here? Is it Jerry?
Joe, is it Jerry?
It's Jerry. Yeah.
It's not Mr. Jones? Okay.
But we're going to find out here in just a second.
I'm going with how my mama raised me. I'm not going to discredit my mom's name like that.
We have a dress code tonight.
Yeah, we do. No short sleeves.
We have to look
and
good.
Mr. Jones has entered the chat.
Mr. Jones, yes, sir. Come on in here. We'll get your headset for you. Well, you're a pro. You know what you're doing. How's it sound? You sound good?
I can't hear.
You can't hear.
Well, we need to hear anything.
There we go. Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
There we go.
Am I good?
You are perfect.
Absolutely
All right,
outstanding.
son.
We're glad you're here. Welcome on to San Antonio Sports Star. We'd like to welcome on Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, the host of this big party that we come out to every year.
Well, we're going to the favorite folks of this Cowboy. All of our great fans in San Antonio. It's been said for many, many years, and I think it's the same today. We have more fans percentage-wise in San Antonio than we have Cowboy fans in Plano, Texas, which is a part of the Metroplex. I am so proud of everything that San Antonio is about regarding the Cowboys, and we have huge season ticket holder base from the San Antonio area, and of course cherish all of our memories of when we've had camps there in the San Antonio area. Now, you big time down there with the Spurs, and I recognize that, but I'm proud of everything the Cowboys are as to San Antonio.
Jerry, we appreciate you come down so much. We tried to grow grass on a parking lot.
Down there at the Alamo Dome.
We need to get you some better fertilizer out there.
Well, we got enough of it on this show.
Yeah.
Welcome on again. With Jerry Jones sitting with us. And as you sit down today, as we looked at all the offseason, the excitement coming in, you've gotten a little bit of kerfuffle over the last couple of days. What's up with the Ring of Honor and Jimmy?
Well, it's really nothing new.
No, it's not.
At all. And candidly, I'm going to go back to when the man who started the Ring of Honor coached me up on how to handle the Ring of Honor. He said, don't have any committees. Don't have any organized input. You'll get it. You'll get it from all the people that are in the Ring of Honor, from all the players that played. You'll get it from about all the coaches. You'll get that. But don't have an organized or a timing way to decide when someone's going in the Ring of Honor. He said, first of all, if you'll do it that way, there will be more mentions and more recognition of what they have been about for the Cowboys before they go in than after they go in.
Mm.
Now, that's not about any one. That's just a fact. There's more discussion. There's more discussion about a Hall of Famer in the NFL before they go in, and the debate and the discussion of what they did than after they go in. So if you really want to do the best thing for the Ring of Honor and get it the most recognition and make it the most honorable in sports, keep a very narrow group. Don't do it very often, and do it in a way that causes it to get a lot of discussion. Hello.
In sports, I appreciate
You've mastered that, Mr. Jones. But now let me ask you this. Now you said there may be some other coaches. Did you want to let San Antonio know which coaches those?
Well, I don't, but we've got two other coaches other than the one that's in it, Tom Landry, that have won Super Bowls.
Well, I think you might have just stumped
I've got one.
Well,
I'm comfortable with
Bill
one.
Parcells won a Super Bowl,
but not with you.
No, but I'm just saying.
But he won a Super Bowl.
But we've had two other coaches, at least, if that were the criteria, which isn't necessarily at all the criteria.
That makes sense.
But you've got two other Super Bowl winning coaches as a thought. Now, you guys, again, might not have heard me. There are many, many, many things that you think about when you think about who goes in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys. Tex Schramm, for instance, who started it, said, don't make it the best player. Don't make it the best coach, for that matter. Make it the one who's contributed the most to the franchise, not to the accomplishments or statistics on the field. So there is a difference, and I don't necessarily adhere to everything Tex Schramm told me. Don't get me wrong, but
you take it. You take
but
heed to it.
Basically is a composite of a lot of discussions, and one of the things sure isn't some type of automatic trigger on timing. Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, position coach, head coach. There's nothing of that nature.
I love the fact that you've made it. To me, it's harder to get in the Ring of Honor than it is a Hall of Fame. But let me ask you this, Mr. Jones, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong. When you talked the other day about Zach Martin, and you can let me know, I sensed frustration in your voice. If I'm wrong off that, you can let me know. Are you frustrated, and were you caught off guard?
No, not caught off guard at all. Anytime you have a holdout, that's always the one or two hottest topics during camp, number one. Number two, no frustration in any way. There's none. Zach is exemplary. Zach is an exemplary player. We simply have to allocate the funds. Zach's been very fortunate in that we drafted him very high. So as an interior offensive lineman, he's had the highest pay as rookie that you could put, really. In his first contracts. His second contract, he was the highest paid lineman that's probably in the league for many, many years. It's hard to hit it any better than he's hit it.
So you can't
hard at all. And so if you simply took the players at any given time and just had a pay raise, and then didn't get to deduct from the ones that haven't played as well, that have a contract, then obviously there would not be enough money to go around. And the most important thing is we have to do is understand, do we have Michael Parsons coming up?
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you sitting here? Do you just go on and on and on? Right. Lamb coming up? Of course you do. And you say, well, but still, that's all supposed to be taken care of. At the end of the day, as everybody listening knows, the buck stops when there's no money in the account.
I'm very aware of that.
And we all are aware of it.
Right.
And so you also don't have that happen to you suddenly. You need to be looking ahead a little bit. That's what this is.
Absolutely.
And so as far as Zach's position, that he's the best lineman in the league, I agree with him. Whether 3 or 4 others might say, well, not quite, but he's one of the very best. And my point is, we have an agreement. We're fortunate to have it. His teammates are. We're fortunate to have it. We just don't have the money to make an adjustment, period. And so what's the alternative is for us to just deal with reality of where we are.
What's the conversation level like with him?
Just generally with Zach Zach Martin, it is nothing but respect.
Mhm.
It is by the way, his demeanor is total and complete respect, and so that's what it is. It is not now. Do we continually talk every day in every way or what have you? No, not at all. But I visited with him about this very carefully, and we have he has at least our understanding of where we are. But the penalties of not playing or not playing.
And there's no getting around
They're
those.
enormous.
Yeah,
they're
right.
enormous. And so you look at that. That's why you have those agreements. And by the way, you can't just replace it with a piece of paper that if either party decides they just don't want to do it a year or two from now, what have you got? Just another piece of paper.
Right.
So you have to go by that when you sign it, you're going to do it.
I missed.
The thing with contracts, you got to abide by
Right.
them. Damn
You got to
things.
abide by
Damn
them.
things. They
If
get in the
you
way a
don't-
lot of times.
If you don't, it's hard to get another contract because if you don't abide by contracts, you don't have anything.
I agree with that. Now, this is, big boy football. We play the blame game, and you're the Cowboys. With Coach Mike McCarthy taking over the play calling, we like to say, okay, well, who's next in line if things don't go right? Is Mike McCarthy on the hot seat this coming up season, depending on if he makes it farther than the divisional round or not, or NFC Championship game, Super Bowl? Is that even discussed?
No, it's there were two questions there.
Yes, sir.
Is he on the hot seat with me?
Mhm.
The answer is, or with anybody, if not me, no.
Okay.
No. Then consequently, it's not discussed other than what we're talking about, and that is he on the hot seat? No, emphatically. And so what we're doing is we think a real improvement because we're getting the asset of his experience and his ability to inject some new things. At the end of the day, it's to really protect Dak and be a more Dak-friendly offense.
Well, we're seeing it right now, and we want to thank you,
Thank you,
for
Mr.
stopping
Jones.
by.
It's good to
Jerry
be on
Jones,
with
the
you.
owner of the Dallas
Thank you
Cowboys,
again. Thank
big
you
friend of
again
San
for-
Antonio. Thank you so much for what you've
Well,
done for our city.
Thank you guys for what you give us from San Antonio.
We look forward to
We love
seeing
it.
you tonight. Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Appreciate you.
And as we sit and Mr. Jones moves on, the Cowboys corner continues with RJ Ochoa. So there we have it, the state of the Cowboys. I think we had an opportunity to address a fair amount of questions there, RJ.
Well, it was very interesting. Good morning to you all.
Good morning. Good morning, RJ.
Rudy, I think, just melted out of pride. That was super awesome. Very proud of you guys. Super amazing interview with Jerry Jones here on San Antonio Sports Star. I learned a lot, and I think we all had a great time. Now, Mike
Yeah,
McCarthy,
what do you think?
Well, my favorite thing, honestly, as somebody who has a great deal of love for the city of San Antonio myself, was how much it means to Jerry Jones. I mean, like, man alive.
Always.
I mean, and no disrespect to Plano, but like coming out and saying Jerry's,
Per capita.
there's
Per
more
capita.
percentage. I mean,